Hi everybody, so it would seem that we're going through something of an existential crisis in our time in regard to experts. I mean, experts have been famously getting things absolutely wrong, and people have been famously saying, if you want to do something, don't have an expert. But I want to point out that there's a fundamental difference here, and that difference is the difference between an expert and expertise. Now that might seem stupid, but we seem to confuse the two so much that we throw the baby out with the bathwater. Expertise is that slow accumulation of knowledge and experience that grounds a person in a particular field so that what they know about that field is astounding. However, expertise is practiced by people. And people are like a bag of kittens. And you can bet your bottom dollar that bag of kittens is squirming like crazy, and in there one of those kittens is expertise, and the rest are a whole mishmash of everything else, including ego. And this bag of kittens is just crazy. Expertise is chucked in the bag, and we judge expertise by judging the expert, and I think that's wrong. I think you have to recognise that there is the expert, who is the person, and expertise, which is a thing. Now, I'm going through this because 5 will get you 10. I'll get comments about this where that confusion persists. So if you're leaving a comment telling me how important expertise is, well, I don't disagree with you at all. And in fact, the only thing I have to say to you is, you've missed the point of the video. I am not arguing against expertise. Expertise is invaluable to us, or we'd still be digging in the ground with pointy sticks. We absolutely need expertise. Experts are people, and people do what people do, including the whole bag of crazy that goes with them, and they have that bit that is expertise. Now, without a doubt, we should respect the expertise, and I respect the expertise deeply. I mean, on the channel, we do all kinds of things, as you know, and I usually begin doing something at ground zero knowing jack about it. So you can bet your bottom dollar I listen to the expertise, but that doesn't mean I necessarily listen to the expert. Because the expert can sometimes put things in a way that is a little unfortunate. So what I'm saying here is that we have a duty to listen to the expertise and expressed by the expert, but there is another duty that the expert has that they so often forget, to treat the person they're talking to with respect. Because they want respect. And of course, respect is a two-way street. You don't get respect by demanding respect, you get respect by showing respect, and then respect comes right back at you. If you express your expertise in the form of you're an idiot, you should know this, then you're going to get a knee-jerk reaction which is basically sod you. If you show respect, respect's going to come right back at you. If you show disrespect, guess what you're going to get right back at you. This is something a lot of experts actually forget, and it was exemplified in a TV show, Jeremy Vine's show here in the UK, where an expert in COVID was talking to Candice, and she was so condescending. What you really wanted to do was go to the studio and smack her in the face with a wet fish. She was horrible! Bless Candice, she didn't rise to it. But you find that a lot in experts. Now, we have a community, and our community divides into two. We have experts in the community. Some of them are just awesome people sharing their knowledge for no other reason than to help everybody else. I love it. I find it absolutely incredible when I read some of the comments from some of the experts that we have, and I look at them and I think, yeah, wow, you're a really nice guy, and that was really helpful. Then we get other kinds of experts who actually don't last very long. They kind of drop in every now and then, and they say things like, you're stupid, you should know better. I tend to give them one chance, hey? But we don't have many of those because they don't last very long. The people we've got tend to be the kind of people who are the kind of people I think experts should be. And that is, they've got deep knowledge, they're willing to share it, they open up their hearts, and you've got to give them respect because that's what they do. But the problem with experts, of course, is that they're people, and people are bags of crazy, and you get people on the whole schema. And some people just aren't very nice. And you wonder why they're not very nice, sure, but there's no real point. What happens really is you just ignore them and then they go, I'm an expert and I'm being ignored. What do you expect? If you're not showing respect, you're not going to get respect. Then, of course, because we're people, we do a whole load of other things. There are people who aren't experts at all, and they pretend to be experts so they can garner that respect and that position. And in fact, in our time, that is such a problem. It has a name. It's actually called the empty suit problem or the expert problem. And here's the Swan Dictionary definition of the empty suit problem. It's in the dictionary now. That's just crackers. Some members of professions have no differentiable abilities from the rest of the population. So they've got nothing special about them, but for some reason, and against their empirical record, they are believed to be experts. And so it's a mysterious reason, and they've never done anything to prove that they're experts, and in fact quite often the opposite, but we believe in them as being experts. And it gives a list of example occupations where this is far more prevalent. Clinical psychologists, academic economists, risk experts, statisticians, political analysts, politicians, financial analysts, military analysts, CEOs, etc. So he's got this list of professions where these empty suit experts are more prevalent. They dress up their expertise in beautiful language, jargon mathematics, and often wear expensive suits. Now that was hilarious that people masquerading as experts was such a prevalent problem in our society that there's a Swan Dictionary definition of this. I thought that was astounding, really. And we as people, of course, when we're listening to somebody who is an expert, we have to decide if they're an empty suit or if they're a real expert. If they're an empty suit, one good way of understanding that they're an empty suit is the amount of jargon they use. If somebody can't explain something in a very clear and understandable way, then they're an empty suit in my mind. If somebody can give me illustrations of things and explain things in a way that I can understand them, and I get what they're trying to say, even if it offends my common sense, I'll go, oh yeah, okay, and give that respect right back, because I will recognise the true expertise of this true expert, because that's usually done in a very humble way, because when you learn a lot, you find that actually you're mostly just scratching the surface of something, and there's far more you don't know than there is you do, and it's quite a humbling experience. So you find experts to be, actually, if they're real experts, to be pretty humble guys, pretty helpful, pretty kind, and just want to share their knowledge. If you find an expert who is demanding respect, using jargon you can't understand, mathematics that is totally meaningless, the chances are they're just an empty suit. And we get both kinds on the channel. I want to preserve the experts that we've got, because those guys, they really add to the channel. I learn so much from people who are experts and are willing to share. And I think that the viewers, if you bother to read through the comments and you can split out the false experts from the real experts, and I try to do that. If somebody's rude, that's it, they're done for, hey? I ask people to be polite and to remember there are different views and that people think things differently. So I demand that of people. So if I get to it, I weed it out so that we can have a great community where we can share those things and respect the experts and for their expertise. And as I said at the beginning of the video, the problem with experts is really twofold. One is our confusion about them. We confuse the expert with the expertise, and we should stop doing that. We should recognise that an expert is a person and is a bag of crazy. And if they can express their expertise in a polite way, we should be respecting and listening to it. Equally, we have to recognise that some experts are just empty suits and give them short shrift. Pay no attention to them. I just let them ramble sometimes, as long as they don't ramble rudely about people. And what it means, of course, is that individuals who have their ideas should be respected by the experts as well as everybody else. You may disagree with their ideas if you're an expert, but you should put that disagreement in a very polite way and try to explain in a straightforward way why it is that you disagree. Maybe you might convince that person to think differently. If you tell them they're stupid, there's not a chance you're going to do it. And of course that is the kind of thing that's, I think, happening now to us. Experts just demand that we listen to them rather than taking the time to explain. It's much easier just to tell somebody they're stupid and to listen than it is to care for the person that you're talking to. You see it all the time, even on the television. Oh, it's crackers. Anyway, I thought I would share those thoughts with you because I think it will strengthen our community. And as I say, don't lose sight of the fact that we have some great experts in our community who are, well, they're shining lights of what experts should be. And I think that we are stronger because of that. There is another thing called the zombie problem, which is kind of interesting. Maybe we'll talk about that another time. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. And please do remember to like and subscribe.